Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Hudson Lawn Care YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to do a overview of my 2025 Ferris FW 45 with a 52-inch deck and the Kawasaki motor. At the time of recording, I have just under 50 hours on it, and I've had the mower for 1 month. So this is going to serve as, kind of a review and general overview of the machine, so that anybody who might be interested in purchasing this for their business, to give them an idea if this is a good fit for them or not. So the mower comes from the factory stock, like most mowers. Just the unit itself and a regular grass flap on the side, but I have several accessories put on this mower that I want to point out before going straight into the video. The first one you'll notice right off the bat is the garbage goat that is attached to the front of the mower. This is just a miniature garbage can, and it has some magnets and it holds it on there really tight, but it is removable. Over on the side we have the lovely grass flap, and I'll talk about these all individually in just a moment. I have a stripe kit installed way down in there. You may or may not be able to see it. And I have a Velke installed on the back, the Velke X2. I think that's everything. So let's get right into just talking about the mower itself. So let's start over here at the dash. You just have a throttle by itself, a choke by itself. You have a ignition switch, so running position, and then anything past that turns the mower over in the off position. This is your PTO to engage the mower deck. Over here for the controls, this is your drive lever, so all the way back is neutral, and then anything past that is drive, and anything, the more you go forward, the faster you go. So over here on the handles, you have a left trigger and right trigger for turning the mower left and right and going into reverse. This top piece, this is your operator's present. So if I'm driving the mower and I let go and fall off, these flip up and tells the mower to die or cut the engine, so that it couldn't potentially hurt me or somebody else. So the mower will turn off if it's in drive and you let go. Below that we have the trigger to make your left turn and your right turn, and basically the way that works is you have a diagram that explains it. So let's go ahead and get into that. So if I put my mower in full speed, going as fast as it can, you can see it opens those triggers up, and that allows for more precision in your turn. So as you can see, my hand is quite spread here to squeeze that trigger. So full blast, this is going just completely max speed. Anywhere in the middle is going to stop the mower, and then anything past this point is reverse, and all this is like flying backwards in reverse. So that's how that works. It's hard to explain without getting somebody on a walk behind, but that is the gist of how that works. So the only other thing to really talk about in the control department is the brake pedal. So if this is all the way up, these two pedals on either side of the Velke down here, you press that in and it brings this back to the neutral position without you having to get your hands off the controls. I purchased this mower at Marietta Outdoor Power. I highly recommend checking them out if you're local. Down here, dust this off. This is your deck height adjustment. It is spring loaded here, or has some sort of a spring assist, but generally just keep this thing greased. And yeah, this thing's wonderful. It's highly what's the correct word to use here? It can be very specific. It's not just 1 inch, 2 inch. So as you can see, we're at 3.5 right now. So anything cranked to the left brings it down. We're now just above 3 inches, so 3.25 maybe, and then anything to the right cranks it up. And generally most of my regular yards, like where I just mowed my shop here, your regular fescue yard, you might mow about 3.5 inch. So that's where that's at. So I love that. No pulling pins, no lifting heavy decks. It's all right here. It's a simple mechanism and it works beautifully. Right here we have the battery for the electric start. You just take this band off, the lid pops off, the batteries underneath. Above that we have the 20.5 horse Kawasaki. It is the FX651V, and this thing is a beast. So below that we have the wheel dipstick, which you can see there, and above that we have the radiator. In front of that we have the air filter, which you can access by undoing that clip, and it comes off this way. So my point in mentioning all this is how easy it is to get to literally any part of the mower to access for maintenance, which is key when you run a business, to be able to get to parts to replace them. Air filter, boom, cleaned out, swapped, whatever. Battery's dead, I can take this off and charge it. Need to check my oil, it's right here. Right above that is your hydro reservoir tank, one on each side for each hydro motor. And just make sure you always fill these when they're cold, because they have a cold fill line. At the front of the mower you have the exhaust, which has a nice heat shield on it so you can't burn yourself easily. And then now we work our way to the front with the deck. We have one anti-scalp wheel here and an anti-scalp roller in the front. Two no flat, basically, tires. And we have the garbage goat, pretty self-explanatory. It is just filled with garbage. I highly recommend them if you don't want to deal with a bunch of trash bags, or if you mow a lot of commercial stuff. So over here we have the grass flap, which I'm sure a lot of people might know about. If you don't, let me explain it real quick. You have this pedal here, and basically it's in the open position, and by simply pressing this pedal we can go and shut the flap and mulch clippings, and it prevents you from spraying in tight areas, especially when I'm between a white vinyl fence and a house. You guys know how that goes. And if I kick the pedal again, it just opens it back up like that. Very fast, very efficient, very useful tool, especially in the fall when you have to start mulching some leaves when you're doing your weekly mowing. And I can even, you know, shut it halfway to dispense towards the ground, or maybe a little more open but not all the way. So this thing is wonderful. I highly recommend it. You can go on Grass Flap's website and look up if your mower is compatible. So I highly recommend looking into that. And over here we have the gas tank. I believe this is a 5-gallon. Most Ferris walk behinds are 5-gallon. So there you go, pretty straightforward. And you have the parking brake here, and down is, you know, parking brake disengaged, and up is engaged, and that's pretty much it. The Velke's pretty self-explanatory. If you buy a Velke, it comes with a chain so that you can chain it up out of the way for either storage or whatever the case might be. So yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to the mower. And I think I showed off the hour meter a minute ago, but if you take a look, I have 46.3 hours on the machine, and that's all for me. We've had a lot of rain here, so I'd probably have closer to 60 hours if we didn't get rained out so often this time of the year. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Do I recommend the mower after basically 50 hours? Yeah, absolutely. This thing's a beast. The 20.5 horsepower is, I think, a kind of a sweet spot for a walk behind. It is just enough to butcher grass down, so just cut it down, chop it up. You know, even when I go on bi-weekly yards, 2 passes with this mower and everything's mulched up beautifully. A lot of people are going to ask why I didn't go for the 20 horsepower, the next step up, which is the top of the line for walk behinds, the 28 horsepower Vanguard engine. Why didn't I get that? Because it really is basically only an extra $1,000. And yeah, even though it has an oil guard system, I chose to forego that because I already have 2 other Kawasaki related engines for my old 52 and my 36, which is inside. So I have all Kawasaki engines, and I had every intention of buying the Vanguard, but after talking to a sales guy, I love what I have. I like having the choke. When you jump up to that 28 horse, you have fuel injectors. You don't have a choke anymore. So you know, I just like the classic setup. It's straightforward and there's not much you can really break in that regard. So do I recommend it? Yeah, absolutely. If you got the Vanguard engine, I don't think you would be disappointed. But as far as getting a walk behind in general, I think you cannot go wrong with a Ferris. They're just so simple yet so effective. I think it beats out anything that Wright makes at the moment. And I don't have much experience and knowledge on X marks, but these are just almost like a simplified version. They're just, you know, Ferris made the Hydra walk behind first, and they really just they've innovated constantly. There's not much that I could say I would change on this thing. Even without the upgrades, it's 100% just a beast of a mower. So yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, at basically 50 hours, this thing's just fantastic. And one more thing worth pointing out is how easy it is to access and maintain the mower. You got grease points that aren't hidden. They're all around the mower. You can see them throughout the video. I need to clean them off. One there, one there. I mean, they're easy to get, and you can get all the way around this mower. I can get the blades off, sharpen all three blades. I can scrape the deck, and I can grease the mower within a half hour. And as one guy, that's awesome. So that's pretty much it. This was a very general overview, not as specific as my other ones that I do on the channel for my other pieces of equipment, but hopefully this gives you an idea if you should be interested in Ferris's FW45. I think, yes, I think the only thing Ferris could do differently is maybe bring the price back down a little bit to be a little bit more competitive. But I think Ferris knows how in demand their products can be sometimes. And this mower is all about all terrain. You're not going to get stuck with a walk behind like you would a zero turn or a stand-on mower. You know, this thing's so versatile. If you're going to own one machine and you live in a hilly area, this is the machine for you. So I'm going to quit rambling. I filmed some very quick, crappy mowing footage because I didn't have much time to record today. So you can have some footage of me mowing with the mower around my shop. That's about it for this one. You know, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. I will have some more mowing vlogs coming soon. I've just been extremely busy with the rain and catching up. I have about 50 customers now, so, or actually over 50 customers. So it's been really tight as one guy with the rain. I have footage. I just need some time to make a vlog. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon for some more mowing videos. I'll catch you in the next one.